Let's talk about stress and how that affects your life. So when we start out, we'll give you a questionnaire. And that questionnaire has been developed to identify the stressors in your life. Um, Basically, the main stressors in your life, the most powerful ones, are change in relationship, marriage or a partner, uh, changing a house, buying or moving house, death in the family, which also includes death of one of your pets, um, and becoming sick or unhealthy. So those are some of the major stressors in your life. Um, and we need to identify them because that's what's taxing your physiology is these stressful situations. So you'll be given a questionnaire. The questionnaire is to help you identify the stressful things in your life. We will go over those and then we'll come up with some strategies to decrease those stressors in your life or give you some tools that you can use to give you more positive stress, if you will, positive stress in your life. So we're talking about things like being in nature, walking on the beach, doing art, playing or listening to music, um, playing with your family, with your kids, with your pets. Whatever you do that makes you happy and peaceful and can forget about your day-to-day life. So the next thing that we'll do after what we have identified your stress is we'll do a hair tissue and mineral analysis. So this program is really to identify your mineral analysis and what you're depleted in your body. So every mineral has a melting point. And what they do with a hair test is they take samples of your hair from different areas of your head and burn them. And different minerals can be identified by their melting point. So in this way you can identify from your hair which minerals you're depleted in your body. Now the hair gives you a picture of what's been going on with you in, say, the last year or year and a half. It gives you more information about your thyroid, which controls your metabolic rate, your adrenals, which react to stressful situations, your blood sugar, and how well your body is coping with stress. So those are what we can find from a hair tissue mineral analysis. So it's something you do yourself. You cut off your hair. We give you directions on how to do that. You send it into the laboratory and then you'll get a report back showing what your analysis is of your hair minerals. Next, we'll do a very thorough blood test on you to figure out also which minerals you're depleted in. Now, a normal blood test that a doctor does for you and the values that they've established as normal are similar to what you would find on a vitamin bottle, your RDA, your recommended daily allowances. It's basically enough to keep you from dying. So blood tests are, the way they're done today, are very inefficient. You have to be nearly dead from something for something to show up positive on your blood test. And really, they're not looking for minerals in particular. They don't really understand in the medical profession how minerals are important to your physiology. And quite frankly, when I got into this, I ignored everything because I don't believe anything that anybody tells me anymore or that I read anymore. So I went back to my biochemistry books and the chemical formulas of how a molecule goes from A to B and what's required for that process, whether it's magnesium or B vitamins or another substance. You will not make that chemical reaction go from A to B if you do not have the cofactors and enzymes that are required for that chemical reaction. So all of this knowledge that we're talking about on the root cause protocol is backed up by science, specifically by biochemistry, and biochemistry does not lie. So we use the blood test to identify particularly your magnesium levels, and we use the magnesium red blood cell analysis because your serum magnesium that your doctor tests, or actually they don't test for, because your serum magnesium never changes. If it did, your heart would stop beating. So you have to look at the red blood cells, which is the largest population of cells in your body. Probably 85% of your body is made up of red blood cells. So it's a very good picture of what's going on in your blood, but not necessarily in the rest of your body. So we do the Magnesium RBC, and then we look at your copper levels, we look at your zinc levels, and we look at your ceruloplasmin levels. We also look at your iron, your ferritin, and what your medical profession calls your iron panel. And it's okay if the medical profession signs off on your iron panel blood work because they understand that one and use that test. The other tests that I mentioned, they're not going to be familiar with or use or understand why we're doing it. So when your body is sick, your body is smart enough to take your iron from your blood and put it into your cells. This is a protective mechanism. Your body understands that any pathogen, any bacteria, virus, fungus, whatever is infecting you, eats iron. So all those pathogens eat iron from your blood to survive. So your body takes the iron out of your blood and stores it in the cells to protect you from infection. And that's how your body goes from having iron in your blood and into your cells. This is a very important distinction that we'll talk about later, because if you don't have the molecule to transport the iron from your cells back into your blood, well, then you're just going to build up iron in your cells and you're going to become toxic in iron. So that's why we check for the ceruloplasmin in the blood. We also look for copper because copper is very important. And again, we're talking about free, unbound copper, which means it's not bound to a protein. So copper is also very toxic in the body. Excess copper in the body causes you to feel wired and tired. So your mind keeps racing and racing and won't stop, and your body can't keep up, and you just become fatigued. Copper also is responsible for punching little holes in your intestinal tract. That causes leaky gut. That causes allergies and histamine reactions, which also wreak havoc in your body. So that's why we look at the copper in the body and find out whether or not that's creating a problem in your body. Now, interestingly enough, this is very important, especially to women, because when your mother was pregnant with you, if she was sick or had a difficult pregnancy and is depleted in minerals, then she's going to pass that on to you. So women, you inherit a lot of your problems on your mother's side based on her health and based on the number of children that she had. Each child that she has, you get less minerals with each child. So if you're the 6th or 7th kid, then unfortunately you're not going to have as many minerals passed down to you from your mother as the firstborn child did. So the blood tests are very important. We're looking at different things than the medical profession, and we're looking at values that we consider optimum or healthy, not what's in the normal medical range. For instance, ferritin in your body, ferritin is storage iron in the cells. If you have ferritin in your blood, then what that means is that you have pathology, you have cell destruction. Those cells have been destroyed and they have leaked out the ferritin into the blood, because there should not be any storage iron in the blood itself. It should only be in the cells. So ferritin is a very unreliable marker for iron, and you need to look at the bigger picture of iron, ferritin, and whether you have too much iron in the cells or in the blood. That's a very important distinction. So we do a very comprehensive blood test, and we can add things on to your blood test if you have other health issues to determine what those are as well. Okay.